I'm gonna live my life.
Wow, so people think that you're in a cult?
Yeah.
They must think that you want some Harry Potter type shit. Expelliarmus!
Don't hold back how you feel. Welcome to the platform for the misunderstood and creatives alike. So roll a joint and pour a shot. You're listening to the Dash It Out podcast, the show that brings your after hours talk to daytime. No wrong opinions and all unfiltered. With your host, Vic Dash Tour.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Dash It Out. On today's episode of Stranger Than This, I will be joined by my co-host Juan, the author of The Veronica Journey.
Really?
He'll be giving us a key insight on his book, sci-fi, mysterious, and hella creepy. And with Halloween slowly approaching, why not go ahead and kick it off with the fall being here and all. So, anybody and everybody who loved this episode and just loved the show in general, please be sure to check us out at vic-tour.com, VIK-TOR.com. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dash this out.
Yay!
So, Juan, how are you? And just tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I grew up in Washington Heights, New York, and I grew up in the ghetto. Basically, we didn't have much, but I always had an inspiration to be a writer and to share a message with people. Um, I have overcome a lot of obstacles in my life, like mental illness, and being poor is not easy. And then as I grew up, I joined the army. Well, and the minute I got out, I jumped right back into writing because I wanted to reach people that are going through stuff. Because you can entertain people, but you can also reach people and inspire people and help them get through tough times. Let them see that there's someone else out there that was in that situation and came out of it good.
First of all, wow. I just want to go ahead and express my gratitude and truly do appreciate your service to this country. And, just as a full-blooded American, I just want to express that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you. Thank you. And can you just go ahead and just elaborate a little bit on the Veronica Journey? I know this is, a sci-fi book, one of your first books. I'm highly intrigued. Let's share the little gory details about this. I'm highly intrigued and just want to know a little bit more. So everyone, let's hear this out. Let's hear what Juan had to say about this book.
So basically, it's about a world where the Pope is in charge of everything. He's enslaved basically the whole world, and everyone has to submit to him. And it's just this religious dictatorship that's going on. And basically, a whole bunch of people. You have Veronica, who's a singer. You have her boyfriend, Steven, who's like an ex-soldier. And you have all these different characters from different backgrounds. Some of them, drug addicts, some of them rape victims. They've all been affected by this corrupt world. And once America gets destroyed, they all sort of just come together. And throughout the series, you see how they rebuild civilization. They take the fight to the Pope and they overthrow him, and they just basically start a new world. But there's a lot of superpowers and monsters and action, romance, all that good stuff.
Damn, that's a lot. Was not expecting that, especially with the Pope being a dictator. Oh, damn. Okay, that's highly exhilarating. They kind of like threw me for a loop, but I'm still curious to know what's going on. Just quick question though, because this is a particular niche that you find very interesting and something that you dove into to help you escape with your day-to-day life. Have you always been fascinated by the occult, the unknown, or should I say science fiction? Has this always been a particular genre that you felt comfortable with?
Yeah, I've always thought that, and this is gonna sound very forward, but I've always thought that the most corrupt thing in this world is religion. I mean, religion has corrupted everything.
Yeah.
Every major war was because of some religious difference. Even now, the whole race issue. I mean, the Vatican is the one that created the whole whites and blacks are not equal. That was like literally Catholic doctrine at one point. So it's like a lot of the problems that we're even still facing today are still repercussions and, precipitations of things that happened way in the past because one guy's religion was different than the other guy's and they fought about it. So I thought, why not have my stories have the most realistic kind of conflict that there could be, which would be religion.
You know what? You're right. Religion tends to be manipulative. Throughout history, I know for a fact that Christianity, which was brutal back in the Western Holy Wars, the first crusade was started by Pope Urban II. Ha, Urban. This is like back in what, 10, like thousands CE before the Common Era. Yeah, around that time, he slayed like over 1,000 motherfuckers. Like, what the fuck? It's like if you wasn't conforming to Christianity's, you was being beheaded and shit. Like, come on. But anyways, can you just share more on the democracy that's been taking place in your book?
Well, one thing that I get a lot from people is that they think I'm atheist because of like the kind of content that I write, but I'm actually not. I'm very religious, and I like to keep it realistic.
You're just a free-spirited person. I mean, just because you don't sit there and conform to society's way of thinking doesn't necessarily mean that you this way or that way. It just makes you more unique in the person that you're meant to be. Like, come on now. Besides, I just have a curious question. Do you believe in extraterrestrials? Like, do you believe in aliens? Like, is that your thing? Like, do you believe in, like, E.T. goes home? Do you believe in them? Because I'm curious. I know I have a short liking to aliens. They freak me the fuck out, but I do like them. Do you believe in the extraterrestrials?
I do. I cover some of that stuff, some of those conspiratorial things about aliens in my stories. Okay, so this is why aliens are real, okay? So it's not the way we think either. It's a little bit different. But if you look at every religion that exists, right, we know that they all stemmed off of ancient, paganism or something like that, right? Now, when you look at all the ancient pagans, right, all across the world, all different countries, they all had a similar structure in all their religions. Then who, what I mean? Like, how can someone in ancient Ireland who speaks a completely different language, skin color is different, genes are different, have a like identical religion to ancient people in Australia? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they built boats and corresponded. And so that trickles down into a lot of things. It's just like someone had to have been there and been like, this is going to be. And then when you look at all these ancient civilizations, a lot of them have, similar things. So it makes me wonder, like, could it have been a spirit? Could it have been like a little bit the movie Prometheus?
You're fucking delusional. No, let me stop playing. I'm sorry. Don't come at me. But no, I can completely grasp the concept in which you're speaking of. The movie Prometheus does pretty much detail, beings that create other life forms that everyone looked up to, had a connection with. I could see the resemblance with that project in life, in reality as well. These ideas come from somewhere, okay? They come from somewhere. You're not completely far-fetched, okay? The idea is not completely far-fetched whatsoever. It's just something that's little off-putting, but at the same time has a place in society. Okay, so I have a small random question for you. If you was ever abducted, would you want to come back to Earth?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Earth. The way things are going on here, I mean, all the racism and all the hatred, and I would probably stay wherever the aliens are. They probably got some good food.
Shit, if their fucking food is great and everything is peaches and cream, shit, I would not want to come back to Earth either. And if their technology is highly advanced, come on now, fucking phone. Look, they're gonna be on some virtual reality type shit, on some Men in Black type shit, like neutralizer, mind wipe. You feel me?
Yeah, and they probably kill each other They probably won't kill each other over skin color either. So it's probably a peaceful place.
Yes, there's a peace factor in the mix. So, fun fact, arguably, the inspiration for most science fiction novels and movies traces back to Greek mythology. Now, if you actually think about it, it kind of makes sense in a way. You got the centaur, which is half man, half horse, looking like an alien. You got these obscure beings that considered evolutionary, just like technology advanced beings, which we are speaking about now. That pretty much defines the lure of an alien, which means different. So, these beings are different from what you consider the norm, human beings. And then, the world is more than what it is, although it's not necessarily what it should be.
Yeah, by the end of the series, they recreate civilization, and you see how a world would work without money and without hierarchies, and it works perfectly. Like, we don't have to have green pieces of paper that put a value on human life depending on how many of those pieces of paper you have. Because the value is all in your head. Because everyone collectively said this $5 bill is worth $5, it becomes $5. But what about we could just ration out food, grow our own food, and then we don't have to worry about how many green pieces of paper you have in order to eat. Because that really shouldn't dictate if you're allowed to eat. Like in the wilderness, for example, right? All animals eat. They don't create like a monopoly on food and then say you have to give me this many rocks if you want food. Like, no, everyone gets to eat. It's the wild. So why is civilization so corrupt? Like, oh, you gotta work this many hours in order to have green pieces of paper with racist people's face on it, and then you're allowed to eat. That's effed up.
In retrospect, if the shoe was on the other foot and the human race was enslaved by interdimensional beings, no one would applaud them or place them on a pedestal. Shit, let alone put them on a currency that's supposedly control our well-being in life. Shit. I swear, there's a lot of dicks in this world, for real. But, I get your standpoint in your book, although you're a low-key weirdo.
Who, me?
Yes, you. It's okay. Everyone that comes to the Dash It Out show is a weirdo, one way or another. So don't beat me up about it. Shit, I know I'm a weirdo. I'm proud. I'm a happy weirdo. I'm a sophisticated weirdo. I'm the awesomeness weirdo that you will ever meet.
My whole series is weird. I wrote it in second person like a screenplay. Literally, no one's ever done that.
You don't say. But no, that's cool though. See, that's the best thing about us weirdos. We're not restricted by society standards. So therefore, we have a higher insight on what it is that we want to do. We're able to grasp what it is and place two and two together and create magic. Okay? Like, seriously, we're able to do that. We're like fucking little mini Einsteins. God damn it, call me crazy, but let me tell you something. You gonna need me one day.
I just feel like all these rules that are unwritten, like how to write a book or how to live your life, if they're rules that are unwritten, they're meant to be broken. Because they're not really rules. They're not really there. So I break all the unwritten rules without actually breaking any rules,
Yeah.
Oh Lord, we got a rebel on our hands. Dun 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 dun. Hey, but no, seriously, that feels that everyone have a lot to learn from you. Just stepping outside yourself, stepping outside the box, and just doing what you do to make you who you are. And that's fucking awesome in my opinion.
The best thing is to not care what other people think. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I mean, a lot of people think I'm in a cult. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to write my stories. I'm going to go to church on Saturday. I'm going to live my life.
Wow, so people think that you're on a cult?
Yeah.
They must think that you want some Harry Potter type shit. Expelliarmus!
No, because, see, okay, so my religion is very unique. We believe that there is a God the Father. We also believe that there is a God the Mother. And Christians are offended by the idea of it. And we always back up everything we believe with, like, Bible prophecies and stuff. But some people find it extreme and they just start accusing us of all kinds of stuff. I've been accused of human trafficking. I can't even drive, but I've been accused of human trafficking.
Man, them playheads always got some shit to say.
It's crazy.
It really is crazy. Like, damn, that just kind of like blew my brain out of my skull. Like, what the fuck? I'm so astonished by this fucking news right now. But anyways, Juan, quick question. Where can the listeners find your works at?
You can find my work on Amazon.com and Kindle, and pretty soon I'm gonna be on Audible. I'm not on there yet, but I'm working on it.
Hey, you sound like a man with a plan. You got plans for the future, and ain't talking about no alien talk.
Well, in my story, the ones in spaceships abducting people with beams of light is the government.
Oh.
Yeah. Like in chapter 3, I think a government soldier on a spaceship literally throws beams of light and picks people off the ground.
Yo, how sick would it be if we had that type technology, man? Like, how sick would that shit be? Like, you know, 1 minute you just on the ground and the next minute you just floating up in the sky and the government got this shit hidden. Man, life will be so much easier. I will be able to just teleport in the air, to go on top of buildings, teleport to go anywhere I need to go.
Well, technically, light itself moves outside of gravity. So technically, we can find a way to manipulate light technology in order to manipulate gravity. We just haven't figured it out. But light doesn't have gravity. You can use light to pick people off the ground. We just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
It sounds like it could be a possibility, pretty much.
Yeah.
Man, on that note, then we're going to go ahead and conclude this episode of Dash It Out. And everyone, please check out Juan book, The Veronica Journey. All the information will be listed in the description below. You already know all this shit. So anyways, I want to give a special thanks again, Juan, for being here. And give a special shout out to everyone who enjoyed and tuned in on this week's episode of Dash It Out. Until next time, I'm your host, Vic Dash Tour. Peace.